Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy night to join me. I really do appreciate that. Pumped shoulders and all, you feel me? I gotta admit, like, no cap, what's happening right now is there's a fan blowing right into my little man boobs, you feel me? And it's really cold, so I think I'm gonna do my best to try and refrain from thinking about that. It's something that I usually get to before I start each video, but wouldn't you know, not only did I lose half my mind, but I don't think I ever found it. Anyways, I hope that you guys are doing really good, you feel me? And in fact, speaking of that whole, losing half your mind thing or whatever, kind of just here stuck. Just as you all are, I'm sure, right? I mean, if you haven't heard, the world is an ever-growing place, so far as we know, I think the Saudis are investing trillions of dollars into their mega line city. I mean, I'd even go so far as to literally congratulate fascists in their new victory in, the Gaza Strip, right? Shout out to all of the fascists who've made that possible. You feel me? I mean, they're about to turn Palestine into, Monaco. And I don't think Palestine wants to be Monaco, but hey, I guess whatever fascists want, they will do their best to get, and that's just an interesting thing, right? It's just while the entire world is dealing with different stuff, right? I mean, majority of the European countries are pretty stable, for lack of better words. Europe is doing all right. I don't know how. I don't think anyone knows how, but they're hanging in there, right? I mean, NATO is pretty strong. Putin is doing whatever he can to implement his influence and power in that particular region. And hey, for what it's worth, the stuff on that side of the pond doesn't concern your boy here. Not when it is American politics, domestic issues, you feel me? And I strongly feel that when America is in line with different kinds of progressive policies, and yeah, you're going to hear it, socialist policies, I think that's a good way to lead the world, right? Just because it definitely is irrefutable, America runs this bitch. And, I am not speaking in anything other than just economic influence and military influence and business influence. And just a few years ago, during Donald Trump's first term, they quickly had to do an extraction. And, an extraction, in case you didn't know, is something along the lines of, I think, the movie that I'm going to watch tonight called The Transporter. You feel me? Extraction is when the government takes an individual that most definitely isn't supposed to be there. You feel me? AKA spy shit. You feel me? And just recently, right? There was an asset in Moscow that had to be extracted because of the possible repercussions of finding out that your left-hand man, in fact, is a CIA spy. You feel me? I'm just saying, shout out to Vladimir Putin, just because the guy's a smart guy, but he's just doesn't have as many resources as good old America, and I just wish we'd work together more. All those things said, I wish that what happened on the other side of the pond actually did not just impact the United States and its policy and so forth, but actually, was somewhere along, like, in line, with policies and so forth. In case you haven't noticed, the world is, currently deciding on what road to take so far as it concerns governmental ideologies and so forth. And this is just the perfect time to be a socialist, right? I mean, the world's on fire. There's literally no future for young people unless you want to pay on a mortgage for the next half century, and it would be one thing if 50-year mortgages also, tied in the idea with like a 50-year career or 50 years of guaranteed income. But here in America, a lot of us most of us don't know where we're going to get our next check. You feel me? And for those of us that do know when we're going to get our next check, it's sort of like, all right, well, federal minimum wage has literally not changed in close to 40 years now. And inflation is rampant. And not to mention, there are nefarious sort of peekaboo, fascist corporations that live off of corporate welfare that are doing their best to make sure that you have nothing. And so here's the thing. I compare this country to, like, the question that I wanted to ask, and that we're just getting into 6 minutes into the video is, like, America seems to be a very conservative, very far behind kind of a place. Never in my entire life, and I'm 38 years old, have I ever seen any kind of grand project. I've never seen any investment in infrastructure. The highways are crumbling, they're falling apart. Water supplies in all major cities are at risk of being contaminated, not just with those good old iron pipes that they've laid down or the lead pipes, but all of the things that life in and of itself has brought to a lot of these major cities in the last 100 years or so. And again, we're speaking American issues here. And I just, it seems as if, like, we're really ass stuck. You feel me? It doesn't matter if there's a Democrat or if there's a Republican at the helm of this, this leadership spot in the country. It just, nothing ever gets done, and that's a problem because, like, while instead of spending money, literally trillions of dollars in different areas of the world, like, why can't we spend that money here? Literally, it's an arm and a leg kind of a thing to get city council to approve funding to fix a freaking pothole. You know what I mean? I mean, like, can you imagine the semantics involved in just, trying to get some government funding to, fund whatever it is that you're doing? Unless you're an active criminal, you're like an active fascist, you don't really have any leverage, and that's tough. That's tough. I hate to break it to all of my fellow Americans out there, but we're literally being set up for failure. And I don't know how you guys perceive that, but I do know that anytime I see a train coming at me, you feel me, so much as I enjoy the scene, and the anticipation, I guess, of knowing what would happen if I just plunked my ass right down on the tracks, it's better to move, you feel me, and then, like, sort of reprioritize, kind of figure out why that train was about to hit your ass, you feel me, and then go from there, right? And I just feel like this country is stuck. This country is stuck, and it's been stuck for, like, 25 years, you feel me? Like, what have we done? What have we done as a country? What has this place done? You feel me? Absolutely nothing. It's done nothing. In the time since I've been alive, in the past 25 years, I have had the unfortunate experience of watching buildings collapse, invasions go on, economies tank, I mean, again, these aren't exactly pillars of success, you feel me? And yet, here we are, still in America, still preaching the same good old boy shit that's coming from this socialist here, right? Because, socialism is I think, hand in hand with nationalism, right? And it's a fine line, right, between nationalism, socialism, fascism, all these isms, right? There's a fine line between all of them. However, one provides services that are vital for not just the economy, but for all of the people contributing to that economy. And the other is like that bully, in school that you didn't really like, but you were forced to like, because if you didn't like that bully, then bad things would happen to you, type of shit. And, like, I'm tired of living in a country like that. Like, I really am. There is so much potential here to do so many good things, and none of them include the current government, so far as, like, the representation of American constituency goes, again, because each and every politician on Capitol Hill at this current moment does not give a shit about you. If they did, the world would not be the way that it is. Like that's just a fact. That's not subjective, that's an objective fact. If people gave a shit, if politicians, Democrats or Republicans, cared anything at all about the quality of your life would be better. They choose not to. They choose not to make your life better. And they have made this choice now for about 30 years. You know, I'd say that in good conscience, I mean, we're not even talking about Reagan here, so I guess he's the one that started it all. Him and Miss Margaret, right? That good old Miss Thatcher lady. You know, thank you guys for deregulating the known current world and turning America into this shit show that it is. You know, it's like watching a hedge fund advisor literally pig butcher this bitch. Like, that's what they're doing. You feel me? They're breaking it apart and selling it, you know, selling it, breaking it down and selling it for parts. This is like the quintessential definition of some hood capitalism shit. You feel me? Like, when people can't find money out of whatever it is they originally intended to make fake money from, they literally will be so desperate, you know, to make that dollar that they'll like break it down. You feel me? Like, they'll sell it for parts. Again, this is classic capitalism. Classic with a little bit of fascism, right? Because, you know, those good old capitalists out there, at the end of the day, right, could care two shits about what the government does or does not do to them, so long as they make money, right? You see what I'm saying? It's the capitalists that are interested in that are interested in the world that you see, the world that you walk into and walk out of before you go into places of business and or to rest your head at night to go to sleep, you know, all while you're doing that, you know, governments around the world are doing an excellent job of extracting all of our wealth, you know, and again, whether that's like capital, you know, in the form of fiat currency, or it's literal the exchange for said behavior so that you can buy stuff or something. I don't know. You know, what's the exchange here? The government gives you no opportunity and you're left to fight for yourself, and there are no regulations, and your employer can fire you for whatever reason they deem appropriate. Unemployment is not a thing, and if you need to eat next year starting in 2026, well then goddamn, you better just get a job. You feel me? Because like these new requirements that the federal government is implementing towards the poorest of people in this country is absolutely a crime. There's no other thing to call that, right? So while Donald Trump continues to pilfer and commit felony level crimes, as federal felons typically do, right? I mean, there's a lot of statistics and a lot of data to indicate that repeat offenders are in fact very prevalent. And instead of talking about them in the lowest forms of where our society goes, I'd now like to bring that fact to the attention of the, you know, executive officer in chief there, buddy boy, also a convicted felon, literal convicted federal felon. I mean, I don't know of people who are convicted federal felons that work at KFC, much less run the United States of America. And in fact, I thought there was a provision, you know, obviously not for president, right? Because I guess the guys constructing the Constitution didn't think that the president would need such a perk, you know what I mean? But so far as I know, you know, to all the convicted felons out there who wish to make a change in their local and or national government, you know, you can't, you know, you can't. I mean, in theory now you could run for president and, you know, good luck to you. I mean, if you have a network of people like Epstein and other nefarious dudes that travel the globe, you know, making sure that your dirty shit is being done, then like you're in a good place. You feel me? But, you know, this was kind of a vlog that was just trying to discuss some of the things, you know, in general that I see going on in this country at this current moment. Hey guys, thank you for watching my show. I really appreciate it, okay? Every single time y'all do, it's nice, and sometimes I just feel like talking, you feel me? So can you forgive a guy for just turning on my phone and wanting to talk about how I think this country is failing everyone, you feel me? And not just, you know, it's one thing when a country fails itself, right? Like, you see this all the time. I mean, this is an unfortunate instance in contemporary politics, right? And just society, right? Is that you can see that it's a very fragile kind of a thing, right? And I think what's more unfortunate, like, than America not doing what it needs to do for us is that, you know, again, we're a pretty big example to the world, and the more we continue to make terrible decisions And the more that we continue to deprive people of their very basic necessities in life, I can assure you, the worse the world will be. America has a pretty big responsibility to not just its citizens, but the entire rest of the world. If there was ever a time in history where things could be set right, this would be it, y'all. This is the time, and so I just hope that we continue to make progress in the right way, and that we acknowledge our mistakes, right? I think that's the biggest part that America has wrong with it, is no one's willing to say that we've really effed up, you feel me, in so many different ways. And people mess up, governments mess up. I just think it's pretty telling when the government either runs and hides like a coward, or they're there to help and serve their people, and I'm way more a fan of the latter, obviously, not even a little fan of the beginning one, just because running society is like anything else in life. You got to give people freedom, and you got to allow them to make decisions on their own, and hopefully they're the right decisions. The only thing we can do is try and influence others to make good decisions, right? If that's like such an arbitrary thing to do. And how do you do that? Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, you give them opportunity. You don't take things away from them, and in fact, you're there for them. And in fact, this government is not only not here for you, but it's not there for anyone other than the oligarchs that are running. You know what I mean? And like, that should be concerning. It should be more than telling. I've been trying to say now for a long time that what's being committed right now is absolutely a crime, and this crime has been going on now for about 5 years, going on 6 years. And it's been frustrating, right? It is frustrating to see law being so fragmented, and I guess we've always known that like people with money and stuff have more resources and everything, but like, that's some bullshit, you feel me? Like the world has changed, and I just don't understand why the United States isn't being a bigger part of that. I just feel sometimes, even low-key, right, that like what's happening in this country is happening on purpose, you feel me? Because like, otherwise, dumb decisions wouldn't be made, you feel me? Like, you got one of the most like privileged people on the planet, in charge of this country, and by every stretch of the imagination, anyone and everyone is a phone call away from this guy. And you'd think that people would be able to work shit out and make things better, but it's not like that currently. And I just hope that you guys see that, you feel me? I hope that you are on that same page, and you don't gotta be a socialist, it's fine. But just, can we agree that what's happening right now is absolutely uncalled for, unnecessary, and possibly illegal in many different instances? We're talking about federal agents riding up and down boulevards in mid to major cities looking for people to send back to another country. Like, I don't understand, I don't get it, and there are a lot of hateful people out there, I read the comment section on certain videos and stuff, and I think that all of you people out there wishing the worst for these people that are living in this country and getting deported, you guys are scum, you feel me? Like how on earth, a real American, by every stretch of the imagination, would be absolutely supportive of every citizen that's in this country, in case you guys haven't noticed, the people that we have to, do our best to not listen to in some instances are the very people that we're actually listening to, and it's just crazy. I think it's a crazy time to be alive. I guess every time has been crazy to be alive, but like, I just hope that we see change a lot sooner than a lot of other people think. Just because, if not, I don't think we're going to end up in a place that is very comfortable for any of us, and I don't want to see that, and I know you don't want to see that, and I know that it's better for this country to become socialist. So, it's the only way, guys. Be a socialist. Vote for your boy here, time will come. The time will come, and everything will be good, and it's all fine. But I hope that you guys have a really good night, and that you take care of yourselves, and that if you're not a subscriber, you smash the subscribe button. All right. My name is Albert. Thank you for watching my show. Have a really good night, everyone. Bye.